sports flowing in their veins. Mackey and Judd on Score North and ScoreNorth.com.
Reckless speculation.
It is bonus scoop time. That means Zolgad, Declan Goff, and Darren Doogie Wolfson of the Scoop Podcast, also Channel 5 Eyewitness News Sports Department. And Doogs, appreciate the time as always. Let's start here. Let's start with your travails around the Twin Cities to find a couple of Vikings players working out as we draw closer and closer now to this post-July 4th to the start of training camp.
It's been a fun day so far, Judd. We're sitting here at 1:37 Central Time on Tuesday afternoon, the 12th of July. I've been going nonstop since 8:30 this morning, but no pity party. It's all fun and games. But yeah, among my stops so far today, Woodbury High School, Adam Thielen, Alexander Mattison, Nate Stanley, former Viking Chad Beebe, had a nice conversation with Chad, who's in a really good spot. Yeah, just signed with Houston. Yeah, I mean, with him, it's just a matter of staying healthy. He feels like he's feeling good. He looks at his two most recent injuries as being fluky in nature, but he's been trying to do some different things so he can be on the field come October, November, December. But Houston should be a good spot for him. Mm-hmm. But yeah, the stars of the show were Thielen and Mattison. Talked briefly with Adam. He had to go run to an event at Rush Creek in Maple Grove. Talked with Alexander Mattison for a while. He's hosting a football camp Friday at Hamlin University. Free for kids. So, it's all over his social media channels. I forget the exact website, but, literally free. So if you're a kid or you're a parent and you're looking for something for your kid to do on Friday, Hamlin University, sign up your kid. Boy, girl, doesn't matter. All sorts of different age groups. Alexander told me free. Literally a free camp with him, potentially some of his teammates. So that should be a good time. He's getting into shape. He reminded me, the day the pads come on is Monday, August 1st. Yep. You need to be in tip-top shape. You don't use training camp anymore to get into shape. You better be in unbelievable shape, not only August 1st, but really July 26th, July 27th. So that's why these guys are grinding, whether it's at Woodbury High School this morning or some other guys grinding at TCO in Eagan. A lot of guys post-July 4th really start to ramp up their workouts. But I can tell you, Adam Thielen looked phenomenal.
Is Kirk Cousins back yet? Do we know?
He wasn't there today. Stanley was the quarterback. They had some small college guys. I should have asked. I could have asked.
TCO maybe?
Yeah, he might be. That I don't know. I don't know if he's at his South Metro Estate yet or not. I wouldn't be shocked if he's not quite there yet. Maybe next week. I may go back out to Woodbury next week to see if more guys are there, because I remember last year Brian O'Neill was out there, Ezra Cleveland, Garrett Bradbury. Heck, that was the first time I met Tajay Sharp before his mini run with the Vikings came to a conclusion. So, yeah, I mean, more guys might be in town. Justin Jefferson was just in town for an autograph signing at a West Metro Mall a couple days ago, but he may be bouncing back and forth between here and New Orleans. But, yeah, I can certainly check on that. But, I would think if Adam could have worked with Kirk, that's something that would have taken place this morning. So my hunch is Kirk is not in town.
So I think the dynamic that's intriguing about this too, Dukes, is to your point, yes, these guys have to be in tip-top shape when training camp starts, and especially when the pads go on. But the interesting dynamic from both sides of the ball for the Vikings is also going to be the mental retention, right, of the camps that they had this spring, because now we're talking about a completely new offensive system, not tweaks, completely new defense as well. So it's going to be two-pronged. It's not just going to be what type of shape are you in physically, but what type of shape are you in mentally to hit the ground running as much as possible from the previous installation done in OTAs and also that 3-day mini camp as well.
But there's a big-time buy-in. They had darn near 100% attendance, which is darn near unheard of in this day and age of the NFL when it's not mandatory. Outside of the mid-June minicamp, you are not required to be at the facility. Now, many guys have clauses in their contract where financially it benefits them to be at their team facility, but it's not like guys have to be there. But there is a big-time buy-in. I mean, I could just tell from a very brief conversation with Thielen, just the big smile on his face. He is really, really happy. Entering year 10. Hard to believe, but Adam Thielen now has been in the NFL for 10 years. Yeah, some time on the practice squad in 13, but he is entering year 10, which I forgot, by the way. This is what happens, Judd. You can probably relate. Declan, you'll get there eventually. But like, I'm 42 now. Years start to blend together. I'm like, Adam, your excitement heading into year 9. And he was very nice. He goes, no, you're 10. I'm like, yeah, sorry. Like, years just start to blend together.
Oh, God,
yeah, he is
terrible.
getting up there. Outside of Harry,
worse,
he's the senior member of the Vikings, right? Mm-hmm. Outside of Harrison Smith, Adam Thielen has been around the longest. But even Mattison, like, I asked Alexander, I said, hey, like, you're now in a passing offense. This is no longer a run-first offense. In many ways, it will be a pass-first offense.
Yep.
He didn't necessarily buy that notion completely. He wanted to use the phrasing of multifaceted, that don't necessarily, subscribe to the idea that it's a pass first offense. But Judd, we know this. It is. It's no longer a run first offense. That I know for sure.
Absolutely. And he's in a contract year too. So
he is. We talked about that.
Absolutely key.
Yeah. And, he gave me a great answer, trying not to think about it, although, we're going to ask him about it, right? I mean, I asked him about it here on July 12th, certainly July 26th, July 31st, August 10th, August 30th. Like, he's going to be constantly reminded that he's in a contract year, but I think he'll be okay. Like, I don't know if he's ever going to hit the jackpot, but he's going to get a second contract. He won't break the bank, but for him, it could be very much life-changing money, whether it's here or maybe somewhere else. I certainly could see a scenario where he ends up signing somewhere else come March, but like, he's put himself in a position, right? I mean, we've seen the value he can bring when Dalvin Cook inevitably misses a game or two.
Yes.
We are waiting for Dalvin to play a full season. We've seen the value going back multiple years of what Mattison can provide. So there's enough body of work where I think he'll benefit okay come March.
On your buy-in thought too, where I think we're going to see a difference is, if you recall, and we have probably talked about this in the past, Dukes, last year in training camp felt miserable. Like, everybody was uptight, the vaccine thing, but it was more than that. I think Zim was just at the end, and it felt like it permeated like humidity all over training camp. I think the buy-in is just the breath of fresh air too. It's just the fact, I mean, because Mike, I just keep coming back to this. It's not fair to paint Mike as a bad football coach. Mike had a nice run as a really good coach. But by last year, the shelf life had just expired and it kept going. I think just the overall, with a new GM, a new coach, an offense now that's going to be up to date, I think that there's just a lot of things that players are going to gravitate towards. And I think a lot of the petty BS that we saw in 2021 is just going to be gone because of the new atmosphere at TCL.
I don't even know if it's much of a debate. Mike Zimmer, third best coach in Vikings history. Agreed. So he accomplished a lot. But like, even the open door policy, I listened to the conversation you guys had yesterday with Kevin O'Connell on Purple Daily, where he's talking about getting up early, but also just that open door policy. Now, I'm not suggesting Mike Zimmer's office door was constantly closed, but like, there never was this sense that, okay, Adam, Kirk, others, okay, let me knock on the door. I'm going to go in and have a healthy conversation with Zim. Like, that just really didn't happen. That's going to happen now. Mm-hmm. And how that translates, I don't necessarily know how to quantify it in terms of wins and losses. Will really have a profound impact on week 2, Monday Night Football at Philadelphia, because of this open door policy, because of this kumbaya feel. Will that really translate to the field in Philadelphia, Monday night, September 19th? I don't know, Judd, how to necessarily quantify that, but there is this sense that there's a lot of happiness there. Now, adversity will hit. Inevitably, it will hit. Yes. It may hit as soon as Sunday night, September 11th. Maybe some sort of catastrophic injury happens in that opener against Green Bay. Maybe they lose the opener to rival, hated Green Bay. So then all of a sudden, there is a bunch of adversity. But I'm just telling you right now, like, to a man, like, I've gone back and forth with enough players at this point, agents of players, some coaches. Like, there's a lot of happiness right now. There really is.
So to take your travels from Woodbury and the Vikings working out to Target Field as the MLB draft approaches. Now, it used to be in June, but now it's being tied to the All-Star game, correct? And a dead time, which actually is smart. I know that the baseball draft is a different thing, but I never understood why in the last few years, the draft remained on nights when games were played. And so they tried to showcase it, but it got lost. The draft now will be tied into the All-Star game at Dodger Stadium, correct?
Yeah, it will. In fact, the Futures game used to be on Sunday. Mm-hmm. The Futures game now is on Saturday night. So I just got off a Zoom call with Matt Wallner from Forest Lake, who will represent the Twins organization. He'll be one of the two Twins prospects in the game, Spencer Steer of the St. Paul Saints, the other. So that game will be on Saturday night. So Matt told me he flies out actually Friday morning. So he'll end up missing games Friday, Saturday, and Sunday for Double-A Wichita. Spencer Steer, in all likelihood, the same scenario where he'll fly out Friday morning. So he'll miss games with the Saints Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But that's a shift. So Sunday night, really the only thing is the beginning of the baseball draft. It's the first round plus maybe that compensatory round. Then rounds 3 through 10, or is it 2 through 10 on Monday? Then rounds 11 through 20 on Tuesday. The Twins have 20 total picks. Yeah, so I was over at Target Field catching up with Sean Johnson, Twins scouting director. He's the Twins draft boss, has been since the Royce Lewis draft, 2017. So this would be his 6th draft, being the guy in the room, the guy with final say. They're still doing all sorts of work right to this moment. In fact, there's a shortstop, a college shortstop by the name of Brooks Lee. Maybe Declan can do me a favor. Google what school Brooks Lee plays for. He is going to be a top 10 to 15 pick on Sunday.
Cal Poly.
Cal Poly, thank you. Right in the Twins' wheelhouse at pick 8. Well, he is having a showcase today at Chase Field. I believe Chase Field is where? Phoenix? Is that Phoenix? Not Atlanta, right? Chase Field in Phoenix?
Phoenix, Arizona.
And why I know that is it's a new deal with Major League Baseball. So the Twins are actually hosting some draft prospects for a workout tomorrow, Wednesday at Target Field. You have to enter into this Major League Baseball database every workout that you conduct. And if a guy worked out at the Combine in San Diego a few weeks ago, he can't then do a pre-draft workout. So Brooks Lee was at the Combine in San Diego, interviewed with teams, but didn't work out on the field. So that's why Brooks Lee can do this workout at Chase Field in Phoenix. But you have to allow every team who wants to show up the ability to show up. So you need to put into a database, hey, this player, in this case Brooks Lee, working out on Tuesday, July 12th, Chase Field, Phoenix. So if any team wants to send a scout, they can. So this one at Target Field tomorrow, if some area scout, the Padres have a scout here in town, the Phillies, the White Sox, the Brewers, a bunch of different organizations have scouts based here in the Twin Cities. If they want to show up to Target Field tomorrow, they can now do that. That is a shift from years past. Years past, these were private workouts. But yeah, the Twins have picks 8, 48, 68. Then they have to wait until pick 114. They gave up their 3rd round pick after signing Carlos Correa.
Take that every time. Dukes, curious on if there's any more steam on the Twins' pursuit of bullpen help. I saw more reckless speculation. I don't know, someone at ESPN put David Robertson, the former great Yankee White Sox reliever, was having a little bit of resurgence here with the Cubs. I saw Mark Feinsand recklessly speculated. I believe David Bednar to the Twins too, potentially as a deadline move. What's your hunch of the deadline about 3 weeks from today? I think exactly. It's 3 weeks from today. What the Twins' plans are for the trade deadline.
It is, yeah, August 2nd. Tuesday, August 2nd. So the Vikings put the pads on Monday, August 1st. The baseball trade deadline, Tuesday, August 2nd. I'm Bednar. I was told, he's from Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
He's under team control for multiple more years. You need to blow the Pirates away. They're not looking to trade him. Now, there's literally not a reliever who's untouchable, right?
Yeah.
If the Twins wanted to, they could trade for David Bednar, right? But, the Pirates are not aggressively, shopping him. On Robertson, yeah. You can get him out of Chicago. So that would 100% be a name to keep an eye on among many. Any of these relievers on expiring contracts or on one-year deals, that expire, those guys, yes. Colorado's got one or two. But, yes. On Robertson, that would absolutely be a name I'd keep an eye on. The Twins are very open-minded to a number of different scenarios. I know they've talked to the Reds and the A's, not necessarily just about Montes and Castillo. I mean, some relievers as well. But, it's that time of the year where things really ramp up Like Declan, I will be shocked if we have a conversation on, for our sake, it would be what? Thursday, August 4th. Mm-hmm. When we talk on Thursday, August 4th, God willing, right? We talk on Thursday, August 4th.
Exactly right, because you never know.
If we're talking about the bullpen not being any different, I will be shocked. I really will be. And not much shocks me anymore in the world of sports, but that would shock me. Like, something is coming. Like, I would put the over-under minimum at 1.5 trades. I really would. So something is coming, but like many years past, it really ramps up July 28th, July 29th, July 30th. In this case, July 31st, August 1st, heading into that afternoon of August 2nd. But I fully expect Eric Falvey, Thad Levine to do something.
Odds in your mind of their moves being for both a starter and a bullpen arm?
Well, I mean, history suggests, like, in free agency, they've gone all in, right? And, hey, it's a different deal right now because Carlos Correa not guaranteed to be here next year. So you can approach this trade deadline differently than previous trade deadlines. But history suggests, you know, whether it's this regime or previous regimes, that this organization really doesn't necessarily go all in at the trade deadline. You know, so while you're having these conversations, guess what? So are the Cardinals, so are the Yankees, so are the Mets, you know, any number of other organizations, the Dodgers, the Blue Jays are certainly looking for a starting pitcher. Heck, if the playoffs started today, wouldn't it be Blue Jays Twins, best of 3 at Target Field? Are the Blue Jays the 6th seed? Or maybe Tampa's the 6th seed. But point is, like, if you look at who the Twins may open up the playoffs with, Tampa or Toronto, or I guess maybe Boston, maybe Seattle, but all those teams are in pursuit of help. Maybe Boston more so, just getting a bunch of guys healthy, but certainly Tampa and Toronto. Tampa maybe more so looking for a catcher. Do they look at Contreras from Chicago or maybe somebody else or some sort of bat? Would they have interest in a reunion with Nelly Cruz? But like, Tampa's going to end up doing something, I fully expect. Toronto for sure. You know, losing Ryu and Kikuchi's hurt. Like, Toronto is looking for a starting pitcher, right? So, like, the Twins need to be cognizant of that, right? Like, if you're playing the Blue Jays or the Rays in a best of 3, all 3 games, by the way, at Target Field. That's a new wrinkle this year, that extra round of the playoffs. Yep. The Twins would not have to travel. All 3 games would be at Target Field. But, hey, like, you know, I don't think Tampa or Toronto would curl up in the fetal position playing the Twins as a 6th seed, right? And there may be appeal to being the 6th seed because then you don't need to worry about the Yankees in the second round. Although maybe you would rather play the Yankees than the Astros. We can have that debate. But being the 6th seed might not necessarily be a bad thing. But trust me, they are very, very cognizant of needing bullpen help. Heck, I talked to Sean Johnson about that. I even threw out the question to Sean because there is a reliever from the University of Tennessee, Jordan Beck, throws it legitimately 104 miles per hour. Now, there's not much beyond the velocity. Yes. YouTube it, tweet, you know, search it. Jordan Beck, University of Tennessee. Sean Johnson told me their radar gun has captured him at 103, 104. Not 105. I actually asked him, I said, so he throws at 105. He goes, not quite 105, but 103, 104. So I'm like, why wouldn't you take that kid, then have that kid in your bullpen in August or September? Right. And I'm just telling you, Sean said somebody might do it. There's a very, very strong chance it will not be the Twins. They just don't subscribe to that method of doing things. They just think it's way too hard, you know, college pitcher to go all of a sudden to helping a team in a pennant race in August and September. So I'm just telling you, like, if you're thinking the Twins could grab Jordan Beck at pick 48 or maybe pick 68, like, just based on what Sean told me, not going to happen.
Do you sense, Dukes, that because of what you broached before, which is you've got at least a year of Correa, and like, there's no guarantees he'll probably opt out. He very well could be gone. Do you sense that Falvey would be more likely to make an all-in move? Because, I mean, quite frankly, the Twins up the middle right now, when you get to second, short, and center when Buxton is playing, are outstanding. Like, they're really damn good. Do you think that they would be willing to mortgage a little bit more to get help to try and make a run with this bunch, knowing that odds are fairly good that Carlos Correa is probably going to explore his options potentially elsewhere after this season?
Well, define an all-in move. I think just about any minor league prospect is on the table. Right now, You may not be making an all-in move for Montes or Castillo without a very strong sense of what it would take to extend either guy, but there's clear interest in both those starting pitchers. Would you say an all-in move would probably be acquiring one of those two guys?
Yeah, because it would cost you like your second best prospect.
Correct. But
so like
they
the type
just
of prospects
dealt.
they've never moved before.
Well, I mean, they just dealt Chase Petty, their first-round pick a year ago, for Sonny Gray.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So, I mean, yes, but that's a signal that they are open-minded to many possibilities. Now, do I think they are trading Alex Kirilloff? Heck no. No.
Sure.
So like, I don't know where the cutoff is on an all-in move. But if you are currently playing in the minor leagues, I think there is a chance that you could be on the move. That includes Spencer Steer, who I know, I've mentioned this before, I'll mention it again. I know the Oakland A's are fans of Spencer Steer.
And I'd be fine with that. I guess my definition of an all-in move at the deadline is the Chase Petty move in August. Like, that's a big move.
That is a big move.
But that's exactly what this crew hasn't done at the deadline. Because you're right. Free agency, winter trades have been a completely different thing. But when you get to, I mean, I will always go back until it's erased from my mind by a move. I will always go back to 19. And you needed help. And you got Dyson, who was hurt, and you didn't know it. I don't know why. And you got Romo, who was he was fine, but not special. But you basically said, this team is a historic home run hitting offensive juggernaut. And you ended up feeling that you had to start Randy Dobnak in game 2. So until you make a move that purges that absolutely terrible decision from my mind, I will fixate on that based on the time that the trades are made.
I think they are interested in an all-in type move, but how do you trump a different team's offer? Like, I think there's heavy interest in Castillo and in Montes, although Montes needs to show us that he's healthy.
Yeah.
I think there's legit interest in both those guys. But how do you trump another team's offer? And so if I had to bet, Castillo ends up elsewhere. Montes ends up elsewhere. But the Twins end up acquiring at least one bullpen arm, if not multiple bullpen arms. But, you could acquire Castillo, then you move Winder to the bullpen full time.
Exactly.
You can shift, would you shift Dylan Bundy? I mean, there's different things they can do, right? Like, they're going to trade for a reliever. They may trade for 2 or 3 even. 3 might be a stretch, but maybe 2.
2 would be a
but
good
certainly
idea.
one. Certainly one. That second reliever. Now, I don't think Kenta Maeda is coming back this year. He parted ways, by the way, with his agent. So he was with Wasserman, big agency.
Yeah.
There was a parting, a very mutual parting. This wasn't one-sided by any stretch. Some interesting stuff going on there with Maeda and what took place there, which
contract.
I don't have all the details, but I can tell you he's no longer with the Wasserman agency. But there's a sense that he's not going to be able to come back this year. That him being on the mound in August or September, a game mound, is pretty darn aggressive. Now, Falvey the other day did not rule out Matt Cannarino, who still needs to get back into game action, rehabbing now in Fort Myers. He's 24 years old, but that's still a big ask, right? Even with his funky stuff, all of a sudden impacting a pennant race late August, September.
Yeah.
Then maybe even being asked to pitch in October.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can count on Matt Cannarino.
Yep.
But at this point, you can count on Josh Winder. Josh Winder, needs to be, in whether it's the bullpen or the Twins rotation the rest of the year. Like, Josh Winder should never, ever see St. Paul again, in my humble estimation. But, they're going to do something. I just don't know how you trump. I really don't. Yeah, you're right. The Dodgers, right? How do you trump what the Dodgers could potentially offer? That's where I hesitate greatly. So while I think they are approaching this deadline differently than 2019, it still comes down ultimately to action.
Yeah,
and I just don't know if there's this thirsty appetite for Simeon Woods Richardson, for Spencer Steer, for Balazovic, however you pronounce his name, in St. Paul. I just don't know. A little bit of interest, but I just think other teams can trump what the Twins are willing to do. By the way, Simeon Woods Richardson recently had COVID. I don't know if he's still on the IL at AA Wichita. So, he's still trying to build back up, coming off that. A lot of guys. Austin Martin is no longer this uber elite, prospect. It's just,
What's happened to him? He's not
they've,
really.
I can tell you,
season.
they've implemented some swing changes. There is an opinion from somebody pretty high up in the organization, I can tell you, that they feel like if they told Austin just to go back to his ways of swinging when he was at Vanderbilt, that his batting average would be pretty good. The on base would be pretty good. He'd steal some bases. But they are looking to unearth some power because they don't think he's a shortstop. So if you're playing third base or left field, you need to have some sort of power profile. And so they've been working to try to unleash what they feel like is a lot more power there. So in that process, there's been some more swing and miss, or, swinging, topping out a ball or whatever it might be. His swing path is different than it was even in the Blue Jays organization, right? So it's a lot of his swing mechanics have been altered because of the Twins. Not necessarily his own doing. He's just following what the Twins are recommending. But I don't fault the Twins, Jed. I don't fault the Twins for saying, if you're not a shortstop, and even at shortstop, you need to have some power. But if you're going to be a corner infielder or corner outfielder, you can't just be a decent on base guy. You got to slug a little bit, right? So I don't fault the Twins for at least trying to see if there's some power there.
Yeah, I guess I struggle with that a little bit.
But see, that's the struggle, right? You've got the kid who tore his meniscus. He was tearing up the Florida State League in Fort Myers, Emmanuel, I believe it's Rodriguez. I know somebody who saw him, before he suffered the knee injury, said, that kid's going to be in the big leagues. I know somebody who knows a lot of stuff, works in the game, who said, even though this kid's at low A, that kid's going to be in the major leagues. But now he's out for 4 months, right? Just go up and down the list. It's just, it's not a prospect pool that's in really good shape right this second.
That's disconcerting. All right, clean out the rest of the Scoop notebook before we talk to you on Thursday.
Well, Byron Buxton, I tweeted you on Sunday. So he was asked to participate in the home run derby. He has turned it down.
Smart
the way
move.
it was described to me, not necessarily worried about, his swing getting all bleeped up. More so, why put your body at risk?
Correct.
Why take massive swing after massive swing? It's just not worth it.
And
he
his
wants
knee
to
hurts
be
worse
on the
when he
field
swings.
for the Twins. Yeah, and the knee
That's
is
the other
not
problem.
close to 100%. Now, it's not 50%, but we know the knee isn't close to 100%. So there's no reason for him to participate in the home run derby. Heck, I'd argue, Byron, that's fantastic. Go out to L.A., enjoy the festivities. Do not play in the game. Why? Even for an inning. Why? What's the point?
Yeah, I don't think you can tell him that, though.
Well, and you're not.
I hear
right?
what you're
first-time
saying, but
All-Star,
yeah.
he's going to play in the game. I'm just
the
saying my
derby,
own opinion.
I love.
But yeah, Derby, he smartly said, yeah, thanks for the invitation, but no, I am not participating. What else did I jot down here? Dennis Smith Jr., NBA free agent point guard, held a showcase yesterday in Vegas. The Timberwolves had a scout at that. A lot of free agent showcase out in Vegas during Summer League, including Aaron Baines, a big man who's had a previous run. The Wolves had representation at his showcase. Why not? You've got your entire front office and coaching staff out there. You've got a free body. Dennis Smith has his showcase yesterday at 1:30 Vegas time. What else are you doing at 1:30 Vegas time? Right? You may as well just go to a gym, send somebody, maybe, but just send somebody to the high school gym or Impact basketball out there. Watch him work out. It doesn't mean the Wolves are offering him a contract today, but you may as well see what kind of shape he's in, how he looks. Maybe it's a guy you can circle back on, in a few weeks. Frank Kaminsky was on their radar. He signed with Atlanta this week. So in the end, the Wolves' interest died. They did not make Kaminsky an offer. He was on the Wolves' radar at one point, but for some reason it evaporated. It went away. So the Wolves were never remotely close to extending Frank Kaminsky an offer. Same deal on Gorgie Jang, who's now with the San Antonio Spurs. What else did I jot down, Judley? Oh, also Taj Gibson. Old friend Taj Gibson ending up with the Washington Wizards. The Wolves were not interested in a reunion with Taj Gibson. Congratulations to Tanner Morgan, Gophers quarterback. Got married last weekend. Congratulations to Brad Davison, Maple Grove High School, Badgers, now looking for a basketball job. He got married on July 2nd. The
Really?
best 2023 Minnesota high school football player, uncommitted. So the best player is Jackson Howard from Robbinsdale Cooper, who said no to the Gophers, yes to LSU a couple weeks ago. The best player remaining on the board is a defensive tackle, Elanius Davis. I might be botching his first name, of Moorhead. So a few hours away.
Yeah.
He's announcing today, like in 3 or 4 hours. I was just told by somebody with the Gophers, they are not expecting a commitment from him. So the Gophers offered him. They'd love to have this kid from Moorhead, but I was told by somebody with the Gophers they do not expect to land him. Don't necessarily know where he's going. Some people think the University of Washington. Don't know what the connection is there to Seattle.
Big Mackey
but
fan. He's a big
yeah,
Phil
maybe
fan.
he is a big Phil Mackey fan.
That's what I've heard.
Maybe more so Mrs. Mackey. Maybe her cooking, or who knows. Maybe just wants to hang out with
Good people.
with Jana. But yeah, good people, right? Just the Mackeys as a whole. So who knows? Maybe that is the connection. Maybe he's a big fan of the fish market out there. Who the heck knows? But some people think Washington. But bottom line is, a Gophers official told me we're not expecting a commitment from Mr. Davis.
Great stuff, sir. Appreciate it. And I guess get back to work, huh?
Yeah, well, yes. Although Drugie's got a game tonight, so I'll be out the door by
That's okay.
5-ish. But yeah, I got to do some TV work for the next 3 hours. And one other thing. Oh, Joey Gerber, Wayzata High School, made his major league debut last year with the Seattle Mariners. He is going to sign with somebody today. In fact, did my phone just go off?
Oh, look at this. Ongoing scoop. Plausibly live is what we call
No,
it.
well, no, this is an invite. So there's a cool event on Monday at Interlochen.
Uh-oh.
It's Taste for the Tour. And so Fitz Jr. is going to be there. I haven't caught up with Larry in a while. Molitor will be there. I haven't caught up with Molly in a while. So anyway, it's about that. So it's not my Gerber scoop, my mini Gerber scoop. Don't think it's the Twins. But anyway, you know me. I like to keep track of all the local athletes. So I will try to track where Joey Gerber ends up.
Awesome stuff, Dukes. Talk to you Thursday.
You think so? Was it that awesome?
Yeah, it's good stuff.
It's good
All
stuff.
right. Well, I'll take it. Yeah.
I enjoyed it
All right.
greatly.
Well, I'm going to find some lunch.